I am DM Zone. This is Gamers Oasis. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, this is a DM Zone. I am out here enjoying a little bit of nature, but due to exactly where I am, I'm not showing my face. I'll just do it by what you're seeing on the screen. I wanted to take this time to be thankful. It's Thanksgiving. Um, it's actually the day before Thanksgiving, but I hope to release this video actually on Thanksgiving. And I wanted to speak to a few things coming up in this game. I've been playing this game almost now 2.5 years, and I feel like I want to get some stretch goals and some regular goals and that type of stuff kind of set up and kind of out there, kind of speak it into existence, if that makes sense. So if you've been watching some of my videos, there's a thing I'm doing called a season of crafting. And after doing some fruit walking and selling of fruit and or item walking, I guess you could say, and that type of stuff, uh, I have come to learn that the bureaucrat is going to be the cheapest method for me at this point in time. It does not necessarily mean it's the best. And the more research I've done into this, I've come to realize that I kind of want to do some of all of these and see where things really are as far as what blueprints can drop and that type of stuff. Now, I may have more on my plate after this first season of crafting that I don't have to do an extensive dive into this anytime in the near future, but you never know. Maybe it'll turn up different. But here's the plan I have right now. I'm going to do 30 days on Monria and do 1,500 clicks a day. Now, I know near the end, or once I get this blueprint built up, I'm not going to need 1,500 clicks. But I want to maintain that 1,500 clicks so I have my neutral stat. So I know that the same amount of clicks, the same amount of resources, the same amount of whatever is the same. I probably will need 1,200 clicks near the end, but I'll just be making 300 extra, and that's just fine. I want to see what I get and then look at percentages and look and see at my blueprint at whatever percent it is, and then what it is at the end. How'd that percent grow? Did I get more blueprints as I was growing, or more blueprints when I was maxed out? If I max out, I hope I max out. Goodness, I hope after 30 attempts of a blueprint I've already done this several times, 1,500 runs, I should say, not attempts. It's certainly more than an attempt. I hope that I have a maxed out or right at maxed out blueprint, at least get to 95% making, because that's one of the other things. That's the third variable. Okay, I'm at 95% success. Is that going to be the same as 95% success with 100% blueprint? Is there a difference between what resources I recover and what product I get and my skills going up? Maybe that will have some sort of indicator that I can see later if I do this again, type of thing. So I'm really going to take a detailed look into this, and I'm going to post all the blueprints I get and that type of stuff. In the past, I kind of held off onto the blueprints, but I'm good. I think it's better just to show you guys and to let you experience this part of it as well, because that's going to lead into something else. Give me 1 second, I'll get into that. So phase one of this is I'm going to, like I said, keep what I'm calling the source blueprint. In this case, it's going to be bureaucrat stone texture. Okay, I'm going to do 1,500 clicks. I'm going to track the progress related to the professions as well. So every time I do a 1,500 click run, I'm going to have how much of each of the professions did I actually go up in, type of thing. And I think that would be kind of a nice thing. I'm going to track how my engineering specifically is going up, because I'm going to be turning in at the end of this um, the still waiting on supplies, which is on Monria. It says 75 peck of engineering skill. Last time I did it, it was about 76 points of engineering. The first time I did it, it was like 350. So it's significantly gone down. This means I've now going to set a goal. I'm going to kind of jump a little bit out of my list of what I was going to talk about, but I want to set a goal for like 3,000, 5,000, and 6,000 on the engineering, realizing that I'm in the 12, 1,500 area right now. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not in game to look at it. But that 1,500, let's say, to 3,000, it should be doable within these 30 runs, but it may not. So it's going to be kind of a short-term goal, hopefully. By the end of these 30 different sessions of 1,500 clicks, I should be at 3,000 engineering. I'm hoping that maybe by the time I get to the next season or whatever, I can maybe get to the 5,000. Probably not. Probably get to 4,000. Even if I did, that'd be amazing. I know next 2-3 runs like this, I might get to 5,000. So within the next, I guess, 4 runs, I hope to get to 5,000. And I don't know how many runs of 1,500 clicks it's going to take to get to 6,000 engineering. It's kind of like a life goal at that point. Because I've heard that still waiting on supplies on Monria only gives you about 3 or 4 points of engineering every time you do it when you start getting into the mid to late 5,000 point. So it's going to be forever. It's going to take forever. And it's a life goal. I don't suspect as a free to play player I'm going to reach that. And I don't have any idea how long it's going to take to get to the next season of crafting. But anyways, let me get back to my first season. Haven't got there yet. I'm also going to track my blueprint quality rating. This is a unlimited blueprint. That means that the quality rating is going to go up. I know it's going to slow down as it goes, but I'm interested to see if there's any patterns. Is it complete random? Does it seem to give less of a point the farther you go? It does seem when you're very early, it seems very quick. But not only is it quick, but it seems to give a lot of points. Do I get a quality rating when I get near the end and it doesn't actually move my quality rating on the blueprint? Is there a decimal point that you don't see or an extra 0 that you don't see in there type of thing? I think that's going to be interesting. I want to keep track of the limited blueprints I get. I think this is going to be another one of those stats, kind of like hunting with my hunting videos, that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. And then this kind of leads me down into something else, which I kind of hinted at before, and it's the thing I'll talk about in just a second. Second to last, I want to keep track of how many of each material is returned. Is there a pattern? Is it kind of like efficiency where the lower the quality rating of the blueprint is, the more you get of the less markup, and the higher you go, the more markup items you get and that type of stuff? Is there that type of behavior? I'm interested in that. Then the overall profitability. After 30 runs of 1,500, am I profitable? And then am I profitable after the skills I've gained and the value of the skills? I'm interested to know that type of thing. That's all phase 1. So I've got several phases here. Let's get on to phase 2 though. Phase 2 is going to be sort of what I'm calling my Mind Arc driven hunts, my MADH, my MADA. Okay, whoever will pronounce that. After I get my season of crafting, I'm going to look at the largest stack of limited blueprints, and then that is going to be the direction of the mob I'm going to hunt until I get enough to do some 1,500 point runs. If I have more than one stack of limited blueprints, over 1500, then I'll just move on to the second one after I do that. If I have a 3000 or more in a stack of limited, then I'll do the same one again and again, checking this, like I do my other hunts. And I'm probably going to do these in 150 ped hunts, realizing that I may blow past what I need for the 1500 at one point in time. But again, I still want to have my hunts kind of, um, in brackets, shall we say. And also, this will also mean that um, I will have the ability to save that material for the next time. Because the next time I do another 30,000 or 30 run, I'm definitely for sure going to have um, more of that blueprint coming. So being able to link up my 150 ped hunts versus for on Monria and on Calypso and on Arkadia fighting Menoras or something like that, and maybe I get Cambibos or something like that for Calypso. All of that is going to be super powerful later when I can put all those statistics next to each other. When I want to know what monster gave me the best animal oil, so I can go find them animal muscle oil, so I can go hunt that mob to have a better drop at that, and not just kind of, like a guess, shall we say. So that's kind of the direction I'm going to go with that. It's also going to allow me to do some wonderful spotlights on creatures by talking about how they connect to different blueprints, or maybe this blueprint, or how some of the items that drop off of the creatures are valuable in this way and that type of stuff. So there's going to be some great videos to come with that type of stuff. It's just going to be a lot of work to be able to get the ped to do that. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to find all the bureaucrat I need in a timely fashion. I can tell you that I've had some good luck. I can tell you that it's going to take a lot longer than I hoped, finding that much bureaucrat when I decided to focus on just bureaucrat. I'm also going to have a bunch of other stuff I need to figure out, like what do I do when I get to 1,000 Trunton? Do I run that blueprint, or do I sell that stone? Same thing with the Rutal. What do I do with that in the Sopar? So I don't know where I'm going to go with that yet. Give me time. I'll figure it out, and we'll go from there. So I eventually see me taking all the super common stuff like animal muscle oil, grouping that together to make a whole lot of runs for like compound B. Yeah, I'm talking about I made the compound B in the past. But there's going to be other blueprints that require a lot of these oils and that type of stuff. And the question is, am I going to do mega runs on them as well? That's why I originally was calling 1,000 run was a mega run. And that still kind of applies. But I know that there are people that stand at these places and they probably run 10,000 clicks. They're not standing at the computer. They go to work, they come back, they're still standing there, still grinding through the click. I don't ever plan to be there, but that would be amazing. I think that'd be really cool to be able to have something sufficient enough that literally the whole day, all day was nothing but getting clicks on your crafting skill, which, eventually we get everything up. But anyways, I'm getting way off track there. It's a little dreamy, shall we say. So focusing next on the mind arc after I get the bureaucrats down. Focusing on what we're calling the mind arc driven hunts, the Mata. I want to continue doing that. And I foresee maybe the next season or the third season being maybe something like generic leather texture. I have the blueprint. It's a decent level. I got it with a few points on it. So that was nice. But it's nowhere near 100. So the blueprints I get from these limited runs are going to be like another generation away from the source blueprint. Now I need to know whether or not these blueprints are terminal blueprints or these blueprints you can get from another easy to run blueprint that's like, like that, like you can just kind of buy it, how hard, how deep into like this blueprint tree are you really going before you get this blueprint? Are there, because there's some that, like basic ball bearings, my goodness, everyone, I could fit most of Arcadia Moon with a basic ball bearing blueprint. There's a lot. You get a ton from basic filters. Basic filter, you know. If I were to go and be run a limited blueprint and get a basic filter, that's not going to be the second generation. That's going to be basically another source blueprint. But are there unlimited blueprints that are actually pretty hard to get? And I'm going to have to identify those. And some might question, why are you going texture? The reason why I'm going texture right now is I can provide some of that material basically by the hunting I do and by walking. And that to me is the desire to go into this thing. I don't necessarily think I'm going to be doing this forever, and it might be skills I sell off in the future, but it's building my other skills. It has a great uh, mix of other skills in there that are going up at the same time, and that is a lot of power. All right, so let's go ahead and get to phase 3, shall we? After crafting all the F1s, I'll get more limited blueprints that I find from the source and from the S1 run, the limited run. This might bring some of my initial limited blueprints over 1500 and allow me to go back to the well to do that, to do those runs. And that'll be more Mind Arc driven hunts, more mata, type hunts. Again, going to keep it at 1500 clicks, going to track the progression, going to track how much my engineering skills still goes up. If I'm still doing my, still waiting supplies, I plan to do that in between the seasons. Going to keep track of the number of blueprints I get from that, and also when I do my limited runs, keep track of that. I want to keep track of the number of new blueprints I gain and kind of weigh that off of, do limited blueprints give you more than an unlimited blueprint? Or are there certain blueprints that just give way more? Like I've heard Bureaucrate is one of those. Again, I'm going to keep track of the limited counts. I'm going to have kind of like in my monthly vlogs, I'm going to be keeping track of where my monthly counts are at. And that'll be kind of a cool thing for people to kind of know in one source. Like when when you watch my vlog, if you're not interested in that, but you're interested in how many I'm getting, you can kind of see how many of the limited blueprints I'm getting. Because I have actually spoken to a couple people. I'm not going to say who they are right now, but they know who they are. They're regular viewers. And they tell me that they don't really have interest in crafting, but they kind of watch my videos and they're like, well, maybe it's kind of cool, like what he's talking about and seeing what he's doing and seeing these things. These are kind of cool. It's very intimidating. I don't want to mischaracterize what they're saying, but I think that's pretty close to what they're saying. It's a pretty intimidating thing because it's not clear. A lot of this is exploratory. It's hard to track too. You know, through all through all of this, I really want to keep track of, is it overall profitable? I've been told that after markup, excuse me, I flip my page here. After markup, there's several crafting things that end up being just straight, ends up being profitable. And if that's the case, then maybe this is how I drive myself forward. I don't necessarily see me investing enough in land deeds. And I was given, I'm going to go ahead and say his name because I want to kind of help promote his channel a little bit. But Scotty underscore C93 actually ended up giving me some deeds, and he just wants me to use it to better my channel, whether I run it as a deed or I sell it. I don't think necessarily he's overly concerned with that. He just wants more content and more of this coming out. And I want to say thank you publicly, first of all, for that. And then say, yes, I am doing something with it. I'm going to go ahead and do a video talking about these deeds. And I want to see where I am at the end of all this, so I can kind of reflect and compare how crafting might be a better way, or for me at least, or deeds might be a better way. But it's just so much investment of PED that could be spent every day. And I'm so PED starved, I guess you could say, that as a free to play player, I just have a hard time doing that. A Arkadia Underground deed is anywhere from 70 to 110 PED. That is a lot of hunts that could be done, or that is a peck a day, for example. So 100 days, you make a PED. Now, yes, if you have 100 of those in 100 days, you make 100 PED. But I don't have that financial ability, shall we say, because I'm a free-to-play player. If I were to have the ability to do that, then that makes a lot of sense. But even still, let's just say I got it for 75 on the low end. I buy it, right in the middle of the mayhem season when everyone's trying to get the extra little bit of PED so they can make it a little farther into mayhem. Even at 75 PED, 100 Arcadia Underground deeds, that is 7,500 PED. 7,500 PED, would hope to start entertaining ideas of like a shop. Those type of things. That's $750 cash. Not that I'm worried about the cash value. If I wanted to deposit, I could afford to deposit, if that makes sense. It's just a path I've chosen so far. And I really have to kind of weigh things on this as I go. Maybe not $750. That's a lot of money. That's almost rent. Anyway, step four. Step four would be going back to the source. I want to go back to a bureaucrat run, hopefully be at either 95% success rate and or preferably both at 100% QR rating for the blueprint. And then I want to do it again and see what the difference is. And I don't know if it's going to take a year to get to step 4 because something crazy happens, or if it's going to take 4 years to get to step 4 because free to play has continued and nothing crazy really has gone on, shall we say. I also expect that because of the limited blueprints I'm going to get, there's going to be a huge desire to do a season of mining. And I don't know where that's going to come from money-wise, but I probably would want to do that again at about the same levels. I've also found there are quite a bit more lumberjack tree cutting missions on different planets than I originally knew. I've researched that and found this out. So some point in time, hopefully in the near future, I'm going to have videos on all of those, and then that's going to make me ask a different question. And I don't know what I'm going to say to that. I'm not there yet. I have to I have some thoughts, but I have to kind of get to that. So, yeah, I'm still sort of on track for my Easter Mayhem. So still look for me to be doing a lot there. But I don't know if I'm going to... things haven't unveiled themselves yet. If I do the season of crafting and it's overall profitable, that might pay for a lot of hunting for my thing. What I will say is I stumbled across with my research some small-ish unlimited electric armor plates that ended up only being about 4 PED a piece. And I happened to find 7 of them at lower TT, and there was like TT plus 2.5, 2.8 ped essentially. So they're all 4 ped apiece total. And I have bought them, and I have healed them up to full TT, so they are ready to go. And that will be 5 additional points of damage I can knock off the attacks, which I believe means I'll be able to do a category 2 relatively easy with an AR matrix 15, which is kind of, I think, where I'm going to be sitting. I was looking at the cost of AR matrix 20. They go up a little, but they're not as bad as some other ones. But an AR matrix 20 probably be the best for the laser rifle, just because it does just a little bit more damage and be a little faster. I have completed my Corona's hunting task and the Matrix. I will have videos up on that coming up in my new thing. A new push I'm doing, shall we say. You'll see that here probably 2023, mid or early that year. But I have completed that, and that is a huge thing, actually. There's so much good that has come from that, including another 5-hour 50% skill gain pill that I'm going to be using for sure. So in conclusion, I'm going to do a lot of missions on Calypso. I'm going to try and tie these around some of the hunts I have to do, my 150 ped hunts. I'm going to be keeping track of my tokens, my stats, one that I've been talking a lot about, and I'm getting closer and closer to making this a reality, is I'm going to have a Viceroy armor progress checklist. And that's going to be a part of my vlogs too, that I do that. I'm going to keep my limited blueprint totals as I told you earlier. I'm going to go ahead and do my Hamarosis counter, which is my one fruit I'm never selling, at least not right now, because I'm hoping someday in the future, since it's the rarest of the fruit, I believe, I will be able to make money if they give each fruit like a special ability or thing, because it will be the least common, or maybe some benefits to certain types of pets or superfood or something. So I have about 3,500 of it right now, but there's a lot more obviously to get. My Rutal and Trenton I'm going to have as an actual counter so people can kind of celebrate if I get more every time, every vlog. I can tell you, I don't know the exact numbers. They're on Arkadia Planet. But one of either Rutal or Trenton, I have almost 760, I want to say. And then the other one, I'm at like almost 600. And then I'm going to have a leather hide counter so that people can kind of see and know where I'm at. So to give you an idea, if I'm going to be doing a season of crafting with leather hides, I'm going to need 3 leather hides to make a click. And we're going to do another 45,000 clicks for the season of crafting. That is 3 times 45,000, which ends up being 135,000 things of leather. Basically, I become immovable at that point, and I don't know how many trips it will take to go to Monria to do that. But whatever it takes, I guess it's whatever it takes. I'll get all the Cali as much as I can, and then pay 7 ped to move it from Monria from Calypso to Monria, and we will have this mega stack of leather, and then it'll be trying to get the extractors to be able to do that. It'll be 45,000 extractors to be able to do that craft. And one of the exciting things I want to know about this is, again, my leather is not complete, but it's getting there. So I'm going to look at the complete cost bureaucrate stone texture. There's a lot of markup that goes into the bureaucrate. Extractors are cheaper than leather extractors, but that markup, I want to know what my totals were versus that, and I want to know what percentage they were of the actual cost, if that makes sense, versus my leather. The leather will have a greater cost because leather has just more value. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to be a higher value. But the question is, will that be that much more? Like will the percentages still be the same, or do they give you a little extra benefit for the Burkite, knowing the Burkite stone is costing so much? Or does the fact that leather extractors cost more make that a less worth doing, um, you know, a crafting run, because you're paying, an extra 50% on the markup for the extractors? And that's going to be an interesting one. And then that's going to be interesting when I go into soft leather and when I go into Nisset and I go into Caldon, and then tracking those and seeing what those are like at 100%. And then maybe if I ever get a wild, crazy hair, I can watch someone else do Rutal or sell them enough Rutal that they can do that themselves. Because I don't think I could. I don't think I could craft a run of 1,000 Rutal knowing that I could sell it for what I could sell it for. And that's something I really have to pay attention to and watch. Lots of questions. And I'm kind of rambling now, so I'm just going to cut this off and we'll go from there. Okay, guys, that was a very, very long video. I apologize for some of the parts, but there's a lot of really good information. Kind of gives you an idea of where I'm looking at for like 2023 and the end of 2022, trying to wrap up and make sure everything's good to go. If you want to see more videos like this or want to find out where this goes in the future, follow along, hit that subscribe, hit the like button. Please comment below if you think I'm going down a rabbit hole I don't need to go to, or if you've gone down and what your experience was. I reply to 100% of my comments, at least as much as I can. So far it's been 100%. And so I will talk with you guys there. Thank you guys. Have a great day.